What's on Tap was created in response to the systemic shock our industry was facing due to COVID-19. We wanted to compile resources, shine a light on the good things the industry was doing for one another, provide a sense of camaraderie during the time of separation, and help raise funding for those in need. Little did we know 2020 had something else up its sleeve. While many of us were hunkered down from the pandemic, the video of the murder of George Floyd at the hands of police officers came to light. Already on the heels of other high-profile injustices against Black people, the Black Lives Matter movement swelled like never before. TappedIn, the creators of the What's on Tap video podcast, posted on social media a declaration that we wanted to stop, listen, empathize, and act on this issue. This is our listening phase. We decided to pause our coronavirus-focused podcast episodes and listen to what it is like to be Black in the hospitality industry. The next few episodes will be a series of interviews with people who have these unique and personal perspectives. We are seeking to better understand how our Black brothers and sisters in the hospitality industry might experience life differently. We are committed to listening with an open mind and asking questions with answers that might make us uncomfortable so we can learn and grow. And if you have your own personal stories of being Black in the hospitality industry, we would love to hear from you. Please send a note to what'sontap@gettappedin.io or leave a comment on our social media or DM us on Instagram at @get_tapped. To close out our Black in the Hospitality Industry series, we have a 2-part episode featuring Jeremy Joyce, founder of Black People Eats, and Kristal Long, business manager at Chicago Food on the Run. When we talk about Black-owned restaurants, one of the first names that comes to mind is Black People Eats. But Black People Eats isn't a restaurant. It's a directory and media company that focuses exclusively on highlighting Black-owned restaurants. Before we get started, we would love it if you could hit the subscribe button or follow us on Instagram and Twitter at @get_tapped and on Facebook at facebook.com/get.tappedin. And now, we'll begin today's episode by letting Jeremy do what he does best: try new food and describe the experience in his authentic, enthusiastic, and infectious manner.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, this is really good. Ooh, Kristal, I see why you like. Okay, wait. If you look at look at this. This is like your grandmother's grits. And with the shrimp, what's this on the shrimp? What's these? You ain't gonna tell me? Ooh, y'all, that second bite. Now, can't get shrimp and grits without a biscuit. I have no idea what this is. I feel like this is some type of cheddar. Let's see. Yeah, this got cheese. Let's see. Ooh. Try this. Try that. Ooh! Yo, this bit. No. Wait.
You will never go to Red Lobster after having these biscuits.
Nah. You don't need no more Red Lobster.
No.
Boy, baby. You need some. Ooh. You've heard it here first. Chicago Food on the Run. Come get these shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits.
You won't be disappointed, y'all. I'm telling you. But I gotta go, so I'll see y'all later. I gotta eat the rest of this.
Beautiful.
Dope.
Jeremy, tell us a little bit about how you got started with Black People Eats.
Mm-hmm. I just noticed Black restaurants. Like what you're doing now, this is amazing. Most companies don't do that unless they were, like you was talking about, north of Cermak.
Yeah.
If I was there, oh yeah, Jeremy. But if I'm out south, Auburn, Gresham, Inglewood, 75th, Bronzeville, they didn't get highlighted. So I wanted to create something that can be the legs in the culinary table. So when you getting ready to get some lamb chops,
Yeah.
you don't have to just go to Fleming's or Joe's or Grand Lux. You can pick Chicago food on the run. So that's ideally why I started it. So you can now have a visual selection of where you can choose to eat when you're picking restaurants, to include black restaurants.
And so did you have this vision of what it was going to be necessarily? You just kind of start doing some stuff and it just grew into that? What was the...
Honestly, the vision was just, let's make sure people see black restaurants. That's it.
Yeah.
Everybody, anybody. It was just people, all cultures, all communities will say, this is where a black restaurant is. Let me go try them out today.
Yeah.
I never thought it would be this big. Like, my goal was to get 100 followers in 1 year. Success was 10,000. Like, those was my benchmarkers because I never really cared about it.
And now you're at 66 and a half or so.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm telling you, real, like, I never knew it would be like this. But that's because I think in business, you should never focus on the numbers. You could focus on the impact, you know.
And your passion. I mean, you watch one of your videos and you can't help but smile, and you're like, I want what he's having. So it's really comes across as authentic, and you can tell you're not doing it to get to 66,000 followers.
Oh, no, man. Honestly, you know what's funny? When people really meet me in person, they be like, I'm glad. I'm like, glad about what? They're like, you're genuine. Because a lot of people do put on front, like me behind the cameras. Like when me and you was talking on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm a naturally energetic, optimistic guy. That's just who I am as a person.
Right.
And a lot of negativity, a lot of bad days, food turns frowns into smiles. Like
this food,
yeah,
especially.
this food, good food. Not even say bad food. Bad
Yeah.
food, bad food might make you mad, but good food really changes lives. And I realize that I can add joy to people's lives through food. And the means of how I do that is through Black People Eats.
Yeah.
Somebody sent a message to our business page the other day, and they said like they were in the hospital, and my videos that me and my company creates, the videos, thank you, that we put together, that helps
Thank you, Chris.
them while they're in the bed. Like, that's why I do it.
Yeah.
I don't do it for nothing else. I do it when I see you in the street, and you be like, man, I just went to Chicago Food on the Run, had some dope lamb chops. I just went to Soleil, not too far from my neighborhood, and I just had her fried catfish. It was good. I didn't know about this black restaurant.
Yeah.
I do it for that. I don't do it for no other reason. And I think because of that, it conceives things that I do find meaning in. But the end goal should always be adding joy, adding value to the end consumer for black restaurants. And that's my why every day.
Well, take us back then to the early days, because you, as a lot of entrepreneurs, you kind of have an idea and you kind of find a way to get it started. Did it take off right away, or did you have to build and grind to get here?
Oh, no. Early days is good, because this is really where I think a lot of people hide themselves when they building something successful. In the early days, I posted every day. 1 like, 2 likes, 3 likes. But the consistency kept me going. Because I realized when you be consistent, yeah, that flavor is hitting in your jaws. I see it. Somebody get the camera. Oh, yeah, that flavor. You see that flavor?
That flavor is off the chain.
When good food hits you in your jaws, it infuses through your gums. You feel it.
And it's not just the meat. It is so well seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. So sorry to interrupt you. I'm trying to do my best
hey,
Jeremy
man,
here.
That's it. That's my why right there. That you see that excitement?
Yeah.
That's it. And so in the beginning, I didn't care about the numbers. I said, okay, I have to be consistent. Consistency keeps you going. When people come to you say, why are you doing a podcast? That's not going to do good. Who's going to want to watch that? About culinary and hospitality. Who are you?
Yeah.
Where'd you come from? You didn't get a degree at such and such, or you don't have any expertise in this. That consistency piece keeps you going when people think you have a bad idea. So when I around 6 months is when I hit 1,000. 8 months is when I hit 3,000, and that's when the benchmarker hit. So at 8 months in, I had 3,000 followers. I wanted to go to a restaurant, and the restaurant owner told me no because he had more followers than me. From that month, from that August to November, I went from 3,000 to 10,000. I still don't remember how, but I know I jumped from 3 to 10,000 in 2 months. That's when the ball really started to roll.
And how long ago was this?
This was my first year. So my first 10 months, I hit 10,000 followers.
Beautiful.
My first 12 months, I hit 12,000. My 2-year anniversary, which was this past December, I hit 36,000. So I saw an increase. And right before the death of George Floyd, I was at about like 38,000 followers.
Still amazing. Yeah.
And now it was like 66. I was like, oh, snaps. Like the ball is really rolling. But if you think about it, when I talked about the journey success that me and my team have, we never mapped out we're going to grow this many followers. We always mapped out how can we create an experience to connect people to restaurants at scale. That's all we thought about. How can we make this lasting impact in Chicago and Atlanta? How can we mirror that, what we did in Atlanta and Houston? How can we remember what we did in Houston, in New Orleans, in D.C., in Phoenix? And that's all we focused on. And honestly, that's what really worked with us. And I'm like, any entrepreneur that's listening, any leader that's listening, the beginning stages are so key because the beginning is what sets you for now.
Yeah.
If you don't learn the grassroots in the beginning, your tree of success or decisions or opportunities will be short because you'll be easy to be plucked out.
Yeah.
Because as soon as the wind comes, your roots, where are your roots? So when the tree doesn't have roots, it's easy to pull out.
Everyone wants a quick skyrocket success, but that is not what's going to be best for you in the long run.
Nah, man. We like food, so let's talk about this. Everybody wants to be popcorn. Why? Popcorn is quick, fast, and it's something you want on the go because it's necessary at the time.
Yeah.
Everybody don't want to be pot roast. Pot roast is something that has to simmer, that has to slow cook, that takes time, and when it hit, you can't even eat it all because it holds weight. We want to be creative with something with substance and not something that is quick and good, but it's gone. And I think that's the key a lot of restaurants, a lot of leaders, a lot of business people miss.
Yeah.
They miss that.
And so how many cities are you in now?
Currently in our website, we're in Atlanta, Houston, the DMV area, and New Orleans. Physically, I've been to Atlanta, Houston, St. Louis, Dallas, Phoenix. I was getting ready to go to DC and another city, but COVID-19.
Yeah, traveling hasn't been as easy.
We're working on something else that's going to create a different experience for everybody when it comes to black restaurants.
Well, that was my next question is you're in all these cities, but I mean, black people eat as a directory is important, but really your personality and watching you enjoy this food is a huge part of it. So how do you scale you? Do you have anyone else doing any shows trying to kind of replicate what you do, or you're the face in all those cities?
Right now, I do have a team because a lot of people think it's just me. I have a great team. Our team keeps us going. Eventually, in the long term, to grow big business, there will be a transition. And the transition will be having key people in key cities to operate and manage in that city. Because, right, could I fly to Atlanta maybe once a month and shoot content? Well, of course I could. But you're not going to grow by yourself. One of us is not greater than all of us, right? If we want to expand the podcast and we want to have it in multiple cities, could you fly around other cities? Yeah.
Good.
But wouldn't it be better if you had somebody in Miami doing covers,
Yeah.
somebody in Atlanta doing covers? So at scale, eventually we will have a dedicated team, dedicated key people
In each city.
in each city. As long as everything goes the way it's supposed to, that's how it will happen.
And that's the old ancient African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. Mm-hmm. And at some point, you need to be able to scale yourself too, because every time you're traveling, you're not doing something else. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to see that. That's why are these restaurants? Are they flying you out, or you just like happen to be going to Atlanta, and so you just like try to find a restaurant to go to?
Both. I remember a restaurant. I won't say their name, but I remember a restaurant flew me out, and it was my first time. And they gave me housing. I will never forget this. And that trip, I learned that there are people who really believe in you. And when people believe in you, opportunities will unfold. Because right in the beginning, it's hard to see what's coming because your eyes are a lot laser focused on executing now.
Yeah.
It's very difficult sometimes to see far off. And that's when I realized, like, man, things are really happening. Like, when people believe in you, opportunities will unfold itself.
Yeah.
Like, eventually, you're going to get to a point where people are going to be calling you, begging you to be on the podcast. They're going to be calling you like, hey, can I really come on? Because what's going to happen is some people don't catch on to your dream until your car starts to drive.
Right.
And your car is now being the car that's remarkable, or the car that's being looked at, or the car everybody wants to ride in. Once that business, that idea, the whatever it is that we do has been identified, sky is the limit.
Sure.
It's just the beginning. Because now everybody's lined up. It's like a roller coaster. Everybody's lined up to ride the ride because they know this is next. This is what we need.
Have you thought about doing this full time?
Oh, man, it's coming.
Good.
The
world needs more of this.
I'll say this. I one day, I did think about, like, if I'm doing all this stuff with Black People Eats part-time, I cannot imagine what Black People Eats would be like full-time. Because when you was talking about, what I do, I still work a full-time job in corporate finance. And he was like, man, you just got to just do it. Because you was encouraging me. And I was like, man, he's telling the truth. You got to just do it. So, no, man, you're right. Like,
I mean, corporate finance will have you back. Like, this is like,
I don't know if I want to go back.
Exactly. But I don't think you'll ever have to go back. But if you kind of need that little bit of a padding, saying, all right, I can always get my old job back or something like that. Mm-hmm. But this is an opportunity. What you're doing and that growth, that's not normal. Most people work a long time before they can get a fraction of that. So, I would love to see what would happen if Jeremy puts his heart and soul fully into this, because I think it'd be amazing. Because what you do with the food is awesome, but also the timing's right. People are woken up and saying, we might have missed the boat here. Mm-hmm. What can we do? And I think food is one thing that will be able to pull people together. It always has. And so come try our food, and that's a great conversation. It's a great talking point. It's a great way for people to get to know each other outside of their usual bubbles.
You mentioned something very key. Food is culture. Food brings people together. Food brings communities, and they connect people who never would sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Food allows the person who just likes soul food versus the person who's interested in learning about culture versus the person who wants to learn about how do you make this food? How do you make this lamb with that juice that sits between my teeth? How do you create this macaroni and cheese? How do you just come up with shrimp and grits with cheese and bacon? And how do you get the sauces mixed together? Food brings everybody to the table. The next movement of connection will be through food. Yeah. Mark my words. I truly believe that, because food is the only thing that can bring people, races, cultures, and communities together. So everybody loves to eat.
Everyone loves to eat. Everyone wants to be a foodie or thinks they're a foodie. Mm-hmm. And they're willing to travel for that, but they need to know about places like Food on the Run. They need, and like, you give them not only just a listing, but that experience, and they get to see it and hear it. And so I think it's really cool.
And it's funny you said that when you talked about the listing, but also the experience, because with the experience, most foodies that I know, they just take pictures of food. But it's a array of food, right? Which looks beautiful. But, I mean, if you're getting ready to go to Food on the Run, you don't know what to get.
Right.
So I said, okay, we're going to connect communities to Black-owned restaurants, but we're also going to show them what to get when they get to these restaurants. And because of that, that's how it adds value. I want to be able, for when you come to a restaurant, you take your phone and you say, I want this. Yes. Right? Like, what is this? I want this. And that's what we want us to do. We want us to create something where you will want this and it will bring you joy. That's it.
And what does a 4.1 on Yelp mean? You know, that one person might have had one of the worst meals on the item, one of the worst items on the menu. But if they would have had this, it would have been 5 stars. So like really to zone in on specific dishes, I think is something that's really been missing in just this whole like rating and review society.
You want to talk about the rating and reviews and my opinion on that? We would love to talk about that. You know what? Do you like Kool-Aid?
Sure.
We're gonna have to get you some of that Kool-Aid. We gotta get you to try one of those. That's it.
All
so
right.
let's talk about the ranking reviewing this. And we're going to talk about why I don't do it. Now, this is not to shame anybody. Okay. Let's say me and you was playing basketball or something. Sports. And we just lost. Let's say we lost. And we know we was going to win, but we lost. That can potentially affect our emotions.
Sure.
We go to Soul Lakes. We buy your house. And now we're in West Town. We go to Soleil to go get some food. We go to this restaurant, and now we're irritated because we just lost.
Yeah.
We go eat. That experience of what we just had outside of the restaurant filters through how we taste. So if I'm irritated and I go, thank you. If I'm irritated and I go to a restaurant, what I'm tasting is not just my mix, not just my food buzz. Thanks again, but it's also my emotions. Your emotions shape what you taste. So if you go on a bad day, on your personally, you're not gonna truly rank something.
Yeah.
If I'm cooking and I don't know, let's say me and my wife or my girlfriend or my kid just got into it and my head is not straight and I'm cooking, that affects how I cook. And that's when I realized the ranking system. It's really, what's the word I want to use? It's really opinionated. It's opinionated because, like, if you've never been to New Orleans, you don't understand that there's 2 types of gumbo. Like, I had to understand. I didn't know this. So if you come from New Orleans, your, like, taste of gumbo is different from maybe somebody who just lives in Chicago and never been outside.
Yeah.
Does because you get thick French toast, does that mean that French toast is bad? Because you get French toast that's not thick, does that mean that's not bad? And that's when I realized food is subjective. Food is objective, but taste is subjective. Taste is based on what a person's eating.
I mean, great. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers!
Thank you for getting the purple
there you
drink.
go.
Oh, yeah.
That's the sweetness, man.
There you go.
That's the sweetness we all need.
So my take on that is the exact same. We see it all the time with all of our clients. We'll look at their ratings across several review platforms. Why is it that it's always lower on Yelp? Because a certain type of people go to Yelp that like to bitch and complain and tear people down. That makes them feel better about themselves. Where some of the other platforms, they seem to get a little bit more just normal reactions and whatnot. But Yelp attracts the most negative people in the world. So unfortunately, a lot of people go look at Yelp. But that's why I love what you're doing. It's just like, this dish tastes amazing. I can't vouch for everything on here, but if this is great.
And that's the key. Why am I going to come to your house and say, hey, I was at Joe's house and he has this really dope carpet, but his couch is ugly. Why would I do that? It's people who do that. And that is a reflection. Like, think about this. If me and you can go to a restaurant and literally talk about how bad it is, that is a reflection of us. Inside, it's deeper than just an experience. It's how we are inside. And I realized that. So when I go to a restaurant, I'm going with 2 things. Expectation that I'm going to have a great time. And high hopes. If I'm going in like, man, my boy Joe, he makes mac and cheese. This ain't going to be better than his.
Right.
You think this really going to be better even if it is good?
Nope.
No, you might be like, that's all right. I don't like how they don't got this. When Joe does his, he adds the extra layer of pepper jack, which makes it a little spicy. They don't got that, so it's not all that. Like, and that's why I tell restaurants, give me your best item. I'm going to give you my honest feedback. If I like it, I push it. If I don't like it, I won't do a video of me eating it. I might do a picture or a video of the product. But I'm not going to showcase something that I personally don't like. But also remember, just because I don't like it don't mean Joe doesn't like it. Don't
100%.
mean Kristal's not going to like it. And that's one thing I learned in this business. It's all perspective.
And have you have that happen very often where you're not, because I mean these are people giving you their best dish, so hopefully for the most part that you're getting a pretty high hit rate.
It's been rare. I've had times when I've had things and I just have a personal conversation with them. I'm not gonna get on camera and be like, yo, this lamb chop is nasty. It's burnt, it's charred, it's not medium well. I don't do that. I'll tell them. I remember one time I had a product and I really liked it, but I felt like it was missing something. So I said, like, yo, this is really dope. I think it's missing this. It's good, but it could be, if you had this would be better. Or, hey, I like this cookie. I think if you added chocolate chips or this would be times 10.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's all taste. You think about this. I went to restaurants that's making serious profits, serious killings, that's selling thousands of orders a week. People told me they were nasty. Like you can't win with people.
Right.
So I'll tell owners, don't take that stuff personal. Just really, really focus on it. Now, if there are synonymous bad things, you do need to look at that. If you come to Jeremy's Cafe and the last 10 one-star reviews was his fries was salty, okay, you need to go review that because clearly something ain't happening. You know what I mean? But like, if it's just like a 1 or 2 thing, I tell people don't take that stuff personal. Some people you can't please everybody.
You can tell some people show up looking to be angry and take it out on somebody, and they feel the wait staff and servers are that in their life.
Let me tell you what happened. I was at a restaurant. I ain't gonna say which restaurant.
Come on, give us the dirt.
I ain't gonna say which restaurant. The restaurant doors open, let's say 2:00. I'm there recording before they open.
Yeah.
When they open, I saw some people, so I had to open the door. I say, they'll be with you shortly. And it was like, okay, well, what time y'all open? I was like, oh, we open at 2. Now I'm not there, but I know it, so I'm just telling them. It's like 1:53. Like, well, if you leave and come back, make sure at 2. So right at 2, other people lined up. They came. When they came, they was like, it's 2:00. Why you didn't let us in? I was like, oh, well, it's first, come in. Like, okay. So then I paid attention. Yeah. When they sat down, they was looking
for something.
So they're already antsy. So I knew, like, if I was a server, I'm already knowing going into the door, they're antsy. Now, let's say they didn't have a good experience. It's not because of the server. They're already in a rush.
Right. They were looking for it.
But I was able to pick that out because I worked in food service for 6 years. So I can tell, like, they're in a rush. They're looking to hurry up and find somewhere to they probably got something to do. A lot of people, man, people go for complaints rather than understanding.
And I've seen a few amazing servers who are able to turn around some of those guests. I'm always really impressed because it is hard when you've got 3-4 tables and you got a couple of them that are showing up angry and looking to beat you up. It can take the wind out of your sail. But there are really amazing people that are gifted at this job that can recognize that instead of getting angry and defensive, that they look at it as a challenge. How can I make this person leave smiling? And when they can do that, to me, that's the artistry in service that not a lot of people. A lot of people can upsell and they can talk about the specials and whatnot, but if you need to be a host and to be a good server, to at least try. And some people you're never going to change.
You want to talk about good service?
Yeah.
Good service is grabbing the heart of a person. Good service is really understanding that person as a human and being able to emotionally connect with them on the way that they never thought they could. Good service is when you walk through the door, I'm automatically, psychologically, and mentally and emotionally analyzing you, seeing how I can help you throughout your day. And that's something I learned working. So I worked at Culver's from 16 to 22. That was my first job.
Wisconsin?
Oh, no, man, not the one in Wisconsin.
I didn't know if they had any down here in the Illinois side.
So they have one in Bronzeville.
Okay.
If you like Culver's, they have one in Bronzeville. Actually, the one in Bronzeville is black owned on 35th. A lot of people don't know that. On 35th and King Drive. Right over there, like where it's the pizza spot and stuff over there. So that Culver's is black owned. So you already know about the butter burgers and all that.
Oh yeah, well they're from Wisconsin, so that's I'm Wisconsin.
Are you
so,
Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Oh
They're
man,
all
see,
over up there.
cheese curds,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like the butter burgers, coolers,
Yeah,
all
it's
that.
good
Yeah,
stuff.
I was that guy with the blue hat on. Welcome to Culver's home of butter burger. Yeah, like that was me. But in Culver's, I learned early. Hey, sir, how you doing today? Right? You come in. I have a great memory. Like, I was like, man, I know Joe got this cool mustache. Like, I remember. So you come in again. Say, hey, sir, how you doing? You want to get the burger again? Yeah, with pickles and tomato. Yes.
That's a gift,
Right?
I'm like,
So then the third time, hey, you getting a burger again? Yeah. How's your day? You make it about them and not about you.
right.
It's pure selflessness, not selfishness. Hey, man, so tell me how's everything going? Man, you know, on Thursday, I know you come on Thursdays every week. Well, you know, my son has basketball. How old is he?
Right.
Okay. See you the next week. Hey, how was your son practice today? It is building an emotional connection that's making you realize this person don't care about a transaction. He cares about a connection.
Yeah.
And a connection conceives transaction because the connection is pure and authentic.
Do you think that was innate in you, how God made you, or is this something they trained you on? Is this something that your family preached to you? Like, how did you pick up on that? Because I know people that have been in the service industry, you know, for 20 years that haven't really nailed that.
Man, honestly,
or they could say it. They could say it because they might have heard it, but they don't believe it. They don't live it.
honestly, I was shy. I know that's hard to believe. I was shy growing up. I was a little quiet. I was nice and cool, but I was quiet. My uncle, who's a bishop now, he had told me, he said, he was taking me home one night. I think this is when I was like 14. He's like, you different from your brothers. Like, God's going to use you to connect to people. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I just want to get home. When I started working at Culver's, I'm energetic, but I was quiet. I worked on the register. And if you worked in fast food, you know, sitting on the register sucks. So I was like, man, I hate doing this. So I asked my manager, I said, hey, I started to open doors for people. So then I asked him, I said, hey, is it okay if I open doors for people while I'm working? He's like, cool. So now, no fast food. First of all, no fast food restaurant is doing this.
And how old are you?
I'm 16. So first of all, no fast restaurant is doing this. Second, I see the change when I'm opening the door for you because you're not expecting Culver's, a fast food spot or a quick service spot, to open the door. Then I started to notice people changed.
Yeah.
So I would do that when they came in. I would do that when they came out. Then I said, is it okay if I ask people, can I help them walk to their car? Because I don't like sitting. The regional director came in and did like the little reviews where they have to make sure everything's checked. And he saw me doing it, and they made it a corporate-wide policy. They was like, why is this kid doing this? And I was just like, I want somebody to help my mom if she got a bag of food.
Yeah.
That is when I started to notice. Through Culver's, I met a lady who taught me how to write, which made me get A's in English. Through Culver's, I met somebody who gave me my first internship that helped me get a corporate job before I graduated. Through Culver's, I was getting $50 to $60 tips every weekend at Culver's.
Which doesn't really accept it the most part, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, my boss told me I could, but at the time, I was like, these were people who were giving me graduation cards, graduation gifts, money to buy things while I was in college because they liked me as a person. But that was because I built a connection. I believe that was innate, and my fast food job helped bring it out. And
Gave
once
you the
it
opportunity.
was out, it was over because I understood the concept. But here's the thing for anybody who's listening. It has to be genuine because you can understand that concept and it can be manipulative. It needs to be genuine. Don't really get to know Joe and be nice to Joe with the intent to manipulate him. Get to know him with the intent to add value with no strings attached. That's pure connection. Yeah. Pure connection is how can I help you with nothing in return? And that's the concept. I understood that at 16, and I believe that's why I'm at where I am. My business is where it is, because I understood that concept.
It's the opportunity to connect the dots with what you were born, the gift that you had when you were born, and how you can use it not only for yourself, but obviously to share that with the world, that you can put a smile on someone's face just by opening a door. It's so foreign to them that they're surprised. I mean, they'll remember that for a long time.
Mm-hmm. I remember a lady, her son rides horseback riding lessons. I still remember the lady whose husband sick and can't eat a lot of fish. See, I still remember those things. And if I see them, I still remember. I remember through Culver's, this lady taught me about ownership. I learned about business ownership at Culver's. I met a lady who worked for a Jewish jeweler. And I used to be nice to her. You know how you meet people and you don't know who they are because they look is so relaxed that you don't think you don't know what they really do.
Yeah.
And I used to be nice to her, and she gave me a book, 13 Things Rich People Won't Tell You. And she taught me about ownership. I met owners through Culver's. I met doctors through the drive-thru. I met people who was, pretty well off, and I would ask them questions. And I just asked and listened. I'm like, man, this is a nice card. This black card is thick.
Yeah.
I said, this is a nice card. What do you do, sir? Oh, I'm a this. I met jerks. I met nice people. I met mean people. And I realized this is who I do want to be and this is who I don't want to be. Culver's taught me that. Culver's was, I believe every kid needs to work in fast food to learn people.
100%. I mean, restaurants in general. I mean, I didn't start my first one until I was 20 years old. My first job in the restaurant.
Which restaurant?
BW3s, B-dubs.
B-dubs. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So you was the guy we could have went to get some wings. I forgot what the sauce is. I think we used to get the dry rub. Asian Zing. That used to be my sauce, man.
Yeah, did that up in Madison, and then it went to bartending at a country club, and then an Italian restaurant, then a nightclub, and then fine dining. So, for me, it was learning those different layers of service too at each of the places. I just loved it, and I fell in love with food. I mean, growing up, I never had sushi until I was in college as well, and then I eventually worked at a sushi. I was a GM of a sushi restaurant. So, just being exposed to we eating shark at the Ocean Grill. Just some really fun and interesting and flavorful things. It made me fall in love with food and wine and drink too. Mm-hmm. So,
honestly, man, one thing I'll say to anybody who's listening: diversity is key in the food industry, and we have to make sure we're spreading the dollar equally. And I think that's honestly the real reason why I just wanted to start. And when you talk about, working in different food industries, look how that has helped you. How you see people, how you see things. You probably have a more understanding of restaurants, working in restaurants. I have a more understanding of how things can and can't happen. But I understand. And one thing that I would say to anybody, when you go to restaurants, when you're supporting anybody in the hospitality industry, go to understand and assess. Don't go to criticize. That can be one of the most valuable lessons we learn and do when we work with the food industry, because when you go to judge, you might miss why things are happening. Maybe the reason Jeremy's Cafe is taking so long because my kitchen is small.
Right.
I started going to people's kitchen and I would realize how are you doing all these orders out of this small kitchen? No wonder it's taking so long.
Right.
And
there's just nothing you can do about that. It is what it is.
Right. Or they don't have the tech to download orders faster, and because they don't understand operations. There's more to it. And I can't just say, well, Joe should figure it out. It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, man.
Enjoying this conversation? Don't forget to subscribe to be alerted to future episodes. What's on Tap is brought to you by TappedIn, a restaurant marketing solution company dedicated to making restaurateurs' lives easier and their businesses more successful. If you are interested in seeing how we can help, head over to gettappedin.io to find out more.
So you said, we read somewhere when we were looking at your bio that you felt, and you've kind of alluded to it to here, that the black restaurants don't receive the spotlight enough. Mm-hmm. Are you talking about from critics, from customers? Mm-hmm. Who is it, and why do you think it is?
From media companies, news companies, and food pages, whether that's people or I don't want to say publications, but in those arenas.
Yeah.
So when I first started, they didn't promote black restaurants because how I know, because before I started Black People Eats, I started a food blog on my personal Instagram page. And through that, I noticed, even in Chicago and when traveling, they didn't repost my pictures. And I was like, okay, I know these pictures are pretty cool. So let me go see why. Because if I'm tagging you every day, you're not reposting something. I'm like, thinking that's weird. So I start to go. And I'll be like, okay, well, this person, he has just enough followers I do. Their pictures is okay. Why aren't they still mad? So then I was like, okay, well, let me do some digging. I do some digging. I don't see people of color. I do some digging. I don't see restaurants of color.
Yeah.
Unless they were up north. And after that, I was like, oh, I see what this is. They're not coming south. They're not coming to Inglewood. They're not coming to Auburn. They're not coming to 75th. They're not coming to Bronzeville. They're not, coming to Woodlawn. They're not coming to South Shore. They only promoted black restaurants when it was February.
Yeah.
And I was like, black people eat too. And that's when I would say I'm going to create something that shows people of color, restaurants of color, and they're going to get the attention that they deserve to get, but they can't. And that's when I started to notice after that, companies then started to promote black restaurants. But that's why I want to start, not just in Chicago, but around the world.
I mean, that's why I'm so excited that you invited us down here because, I was telling Kristal, I don't come south like Cermak, Chinatown, and, this basically as far south as I go. And, most of it's because I don't really hear of opportunities. And I think there's a stigmatism of danger and whatnot. So, for us to come down here and show everyone how, first of all, amazing the food is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what can you tell me about this area? Is this safe for the River Northers to leave their bubble and come on down?
Like, think about it like this. When I want to go shopping, or when somebody wants to go shopping, like, let's look at economics, because my degree's in finance. So let's look at this from a whole picture. If I go up north to shop, okay, let's say I'm in Lincoln Park to shop. Where am I going to eat at? Lincoln Park. Oh, I got to get gas. Where am I going to get gas at? Lincoln Park. Whatever I buy, that money is going to Lincoln Park. But then I'm going to come back home, and no money's being spent in my community. So what happens if an influx of a community is going to another community to spend dollars? That community economically goes down. Financially, educationally, real estate, all of those things. So then we don't have funding for schools. So now you're wondering why kids are on the streets. The schools, they're not teaching them nothing. Or they don't have the funding to keep everybody in the classroom. So now that kid's parents don't have the money to help them survive. So now that kid has to go on the street and do whatever they need to do to get food for their families.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, you can go to North or you can go to like Orland. And it's like a whole new world. It's like nothing's happening. So what I realized is, like, when on your way home, think about how many grocery stores you're going to see going home. This might be the closest place where I can get some food. What if I don't have a car? So what I realized is, just like I or me or other people go to other areas to eat and shop and do all those things, they can come here. Like, we're in the broad daylight. Nothing's happening, right?
Yeah.
I can go up north and get stabbed. I can go up north and get hit by a car. I can go up north and get harassed. Actually, I might get more harassed because I'm an African American male in an area where there's not a lot of black people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you think about the perspective of the race thing, it's actually interesting because we get harassed when we go to other areas. We never see them getting harassed when they come to our areas. Like, when the last time you said, oh, I seen any type of race in Inglewood or Auburn or Bronzeville and they got harassed? It's not happening.
Yeah.
But if I go up north, I know people who live up north that's my complexion and they have issues. Or you go to grocery stores and they looking at you, they think you about to do something because they wondering why you out there. So it's interesting. It's super safe. I think there is a conditioning in the mind that allows people to see that, and because of that conditioning, it makes people say, "No, I don't want to go that way."
Yeah.
Or it's too far. Or it's the 20-minute drive. I can just go right here. You know what I mean? And that's why.
And I think we have a unique opportunity right now to change that. People are woken. They want to listen. They want to explore, but they still need some direction, because you can't just from never going anywhere in the South just drive around looking for a restaurant. But this is giving an opportunity to see the food, hear of us eating the food, and just talking about the neighborhood and shining a light on it and saying, "Come on down, live life, see Chicago. This is Chicago." Like, people think Chicago is this very like tight little circle around the loop, in the 4 neighborhoods that surround it. But I mean, Chicago is a big city with a lot of diversity, with a lot of amazing restaurants and people and things to see and do.
Let me say this for anybody who's scared to come out of North. Tell them to do Chicago history. Where they are is where the projects was. You know, over there by Macy's and all, those were the projects. They don't know that. They wondering why it's a lot of homeless people over there. Those were the projects that they tore down to get us out. Inglewood, South Shore, those were like predominantly white areas.
Really?
If you go back and do Chicago history, Bridgeport for, I believe, Irish. See, I know the history, so for them to say they don't want to come to the areas where they were, and it's actually funny, I'm actually starting to see more of an influx of diversity come out here.
Yeah.
They're just not outside, but they out here, they're just not outside. But, you know, where they are now, that's luxury, those were the projects. And they tore them down to get us out and push us out this way. It's gentrification at its finest.
And obviously, there are black chefs that do a wide range of different cuisines, and it's not all just soul food. What other restaurants down here are maybe your favorites that you say like come check out? Maybe different types of cuisine.
Oh man, seafood, two fish, love two fish.
Two
love
fish.
Two fish. You have Chef Jute. North, he has NMA. He does like the smoked meats. Straight from Louisiana. He does the smoked meats. He has different type of snowball.
Interviewed him last week.
Cuisine. Oh, yeah, man.
He said hi, by the way.
Yeah, man. You have so different things. You got Chef Reed at Luella Southern Kitchen. He does buttermilk fried chicken. But what's interesting, he actually brines his chicken. And we know that the brine adds that just another level of flavor. Then you have unique spots, outside of like Chicago's Food on the Run. They have their unique dishes. They chicken and waffles. They actually have something. Kristal's probably gonna get me. I don't think she over there. They have a sweet potato dish. I'm not gonna name it. They got something special. Then you have places downtown like Taste 222. Then you got places in the Loop like Teapot Brew Bakery. They sell like lavender teas and things like that. It's a array of things.
I've been that one.
We have to also embrace diversity in food. A black chef is not limited to fried chicken and catfish. He's open to Asian food. He's open to American cuisine. He's open to Italian. Like we have Truth. Truth sells Italian food on 39th Street. I had a crab ravioli. Amazing. It's a black-owned restaurant. We're not limited in cuisine.
Few quick things. I know you have to get going. Current events. Obviously, the Black Lives Matter movement has been extremely powerful and large, and it's been around for years. But like this time, it feels different. How do you see that changing in the restaurants that you've been working with? Are the dollars flowing to those businesses more? Are people really changing their dining habits?
Oh, the dollars are flowing. Juneteenth brought in more than $450,000 just that weekend. The
Amazing.
Dollars are intentionally coming to black restaurants. Because with some of the grocery stores may or may not opening, black restaurants may be the only places where we get food in our communities.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to build grocery stores here. I don't know why, because they said we don't buy these things, but a lot of African Americans shop at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and Aldi's and Myers and Mariano's, but they don't want to build one out here because for some reason they don't say we don't buy them. So we're left to sometimes only eat at restaurants. And in the communities, there's not a lot of restaurants to get good quality food.
Yeah.
Sometimes we only have the restaurants. That's why an influx of dollars is coming, because now people are seeing, why is it only one grocery store within a 10-mile radius, but it's 50 restaurants?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If you could have one meal for the rest of your life,
Whew. Oh, that's easy.
you pull up a picture?
Oh, no. That's easy. Look, I was thinking, you said one meal for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Listen, I love shrimp. I'm a seafood person. I can eat shrimp any type of way. Fried, grilled, baked, broiled, coconut, in a bag.
And grits.
Man, listen, shrimp is... I love shrimp. Shrimp is the best thing ever. Shrimp is amazing. Shrimp. Like,
Okay,
I would eat
shrimp. You guys get that? Shrimp.
Like, I don't care how it's made, how it's prepared, what it's in. If it got shrimp, I'm good. Like, if I'm mad at you, bring me some shrimp. I will not be mad at you no more. If you're trying to get the way to my heart, bring me a bag of shrimp. Like, shrimp is it. That's it. I love shrimp. Love it.
I believe you.
Fried, barbecue, grill. So you ain't even thinking about it. I'm thinking about restaurants I've had great shrimp and I can taste it right now.
We'll get some shrimp. Anyone that you want to mention?
Oh man, so Two Fish. Oh, she has some fried shrimp tossed in barbecue sauce. Heaven and on a tail. Harris Ghost Shrimp OG, been in the game for years. Southside, he has some amazing shrimp served with a side of spaghetti. You can go to Soleil, get their shrimp and grits, wonderful. You can go to Luella's, get his shrimp and grits. He do like a New Orleans barbecue style sauce covered in his grits with the cream cheddar cheese. Man, oh my God, like shrimp is heaven. You can get a shrimp wrap from Pink Panini out in the suburbs. I actually just tried Golden Gloves Cuisine, just launched some fried shrimp, and it was heaven. Oh my God, I love shrimp. Yo, you got me. So you got me in my element, man. I legit love food. Shrimp is the best thing ever on this earth. I don't care what nobody says.
I think you have a career in acting as well. I mean, it's genuine, but like I could watch you. Like your videos are so entertaining. I could watch you eat all day long. So a couple of things. We want everyone who might not have heard of you somehow. How do they find you?
Everybody, you guys can find me at Black People Eats on Instagram and Facebook. The website is blackpeopleeats.com. The YouTube is Black People Eats TV. That's how you guys can all find me, and that's it, guys. And I'm just grateful. Thank you for having me. We gotta come back.
We would love to have you back.
I gotta come back. You're here. I gotta come back.
I gotta finish some of this dish here. I might even get some of those if you walk out and don't finish that.
Man, you know what? I'll let you try it, because I'm actually gonna take care of my body. I'm gonna give me a massage, man. You gotta take care of your body. Mental health is important. Men, mental health is important. Don't let nobody tell you it's not.
We'll get that massage. Thank you very much, and thank you for doing what you do. It really has been an amazing to be able to see your success, and your personality is infectious, and so we thank you for that, and thank you for shining a light on a lot of things we might not have been able to see if it wasn't for somebody like you. So thank you, Jeremy.
Anytime, man.
We'll do it again.
All love, man. I love the fact that you reach out. You're a genuine guy when you call me, and that matters. That matters. Authenticity and being genuine means a lot in this time. And that's why I wanted to do this with you, and I appreciate you for having me, man.
Thanks for squeezing us in. You're a very busy man, and best of luck to everything.
You're never busy. You're never busy for the people who need it the most.
All right. Well, we'll do good things with this. So thank you, Jeremy.
All right, man.
Cheers,
Welcome, man. Oh, we got to get out there.
We are happy to report that since the recording of this episode, Black People Eats Instagram following has swelled to an incredible 75,000 followers. If you want to find out more about Black People Eats, head over to blackpeopleeats.com or check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Keep up the great work, Jeremy. One of the restaurants that has been featured on Black People Eats is Chicago Food on the Run, which, surprise, is where this episode was recorded. We sat down with Kristal Long, their business manager, and got to taste their amazing food. Chicago Food on the Run is a Black-owned restaurant on Chicago's Southside that opened in March, right around the time the government-mandated shutdown in Illinois was announced. Usually, this would be a death knell for a new restaurant, but business at Food on the Run has been booming. This is a testament to the quality of food they produce, as well as an indication of the demand for real food in their neighborhood.
So, Kristal, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for coming out.
No worries. We're down here at Food on the Run, and we've interviewed people in the downtown. We've done some suburb interviews, and we needed the perspective of the South and West Side because in so many ways in Chicago, those two areas are the forgotten ones. So,
especially when it comes to food.
And I'm excited to talk about that as well, for sure. So tell me a little bit about Food on the Run and how you got started.
We started doing catering from our home. Friends and family events like prom, things like that. That started to move on to, we'll sell plates. And we started with an Instagram page, and it just blew up from there. So we went from doing probably about 20 plates a day to over 100 plates a day from home.
Just word of mouth and Instagram.
Just word of mouth and Instagram only at that point. And we would get certain local celebrities that would buy from us. They'll post us. That got us more people. Then, different DJs and things from radios like, hey, we need to feed the whole station. And it turned into this. We were able to secure a space, and now we're here.
And when was that? When did you open?
We opened, our soft grand opening was March 23rd. We opened a week later.
So right in the middle of
middle of the whole shutdown. We panicked a little bit. We didn't know what we were going to do.
Yeah.
And it all worked out for the best.
You do the only thing you can do is kind of keep moving.
Keep moving. We open up our takeout side. We still have this side over here, which is our dining side that hasn't opened yet. But we open our takeout side, and the line is still out the door.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It is.
And this dining room side is quite large. I was very surprised, and it's looks pristine, obviously brand new, so it's very exciting to kind of be in here today.
When we were thinking about a space, our whole thing was to bring something to the south side of Chicago that wasn't really over here. It's not too many soul food restaurants that you can come to, that you can sit down, that you can enjoy not just the food, but also the atmosphere. So we wanted to make sure that when you came in here, you would think of a Hyde Park or a South Loop or something like that when it came to decorating and things like that.
And did you all do that to yourselves? I mean, are you the decorators, the chefs, the concepts?
Everything in here is all Jonetta. As the business manager, we fight about money all the time. And so I'm like, hey, we can't afford that. And she's like, but I want it. Oh, well, I'll sell extra plates. We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of that. But everything, all the decor, everything that's inside of here is all of Jonetta's.
I mean, I would have assumed that you had a professional restaurant designer.
No designer.
The colors and the layout and the pictures.
None of that. Everything was like, hey, this is on sale at Home Goods. Let's grab this real quick. Let's grab this. And it just went from there.
So tell us about the pictures. You've got pictures lining all the walls, these black and white pics.
All of the pictures on the walls are of Chicago celebrities, I would say. So we have everyone from Do or Die is like West Side, old school. We have everyone from them. We have Jennifer Hudson. We even have Obama.
The Obamas
over here. So all of celebrities from Chicago.
Cool. And what do you have any training in culinary arts at all? Do you work in the restaurants, or is this just like all homegrown, self-taught?
So from Jonetta's perspective, everything, all of her recipes, all of the cooking is done by her and people that she's taught. All of her training came from her father. She's never been to a regular school or anything. Those are home recipes that were taught at home, and it just took from there. My part of it is I handle all the business aspect of it. So I went to school for business. I have a degree in accounting and things like that. So I handle the business. She stays in the kitchen. We stay away from each other.
She's never asked you to go back there and help do some prep?
They kick me out the kitchen when I go back there all the time. As soon as I walk back there, they're like, get out the kitchen. Okay, I'm gone.
So, deal.
Yeah.
And so where were you working at before this?
Before this, outside of this, I do have my own tax business, Long Way Tax. So before that, I've been working from home. I held jobs before, like, I keep saying, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I've held jobs at different, like, law firms and things like that, but to be here, to still be able to do my own business as well as contribute to this, is the best.
It's a beautiful combination then. How are you enjoying the restaurant hospitality industry?
Oh, I love it. Like you come in here, it's a different group of people every day. You get to say hello, hi. You never know who's gonna walk through these doors, and we have a little bit of everyone walking through these doors.
Yeah.
Our day one customers come in. We still have people that'll come from out of town. Like, hey, I've been following you guys on Instagram for the last 2 years. We were in town for, whatever event. We had to come in and try the food.
Well, that's one of my questions, actually. Who are your typical customers? Are they local? And it sounds like people are traveling quite far to come check this out.
Most of our clientele, most of our customers are local. They've probably been with us for a while. You drive around a neighborhood, especially a neighborhood like this, most of the restaurants and things are fast food.
Yeah.
So now they have somewhere where they can get a home cooked meal from. So our offerings, like we try our best to stay away from anything that's fast food related. So you can come in here and you can get healthy greens, you can get macaroni, you can get candy yams, things like that. Real Southern comfort food.
Yeah, and you said there's not a lot of comfort food or soul food in the
There's
area?
not. In this area, there is not. Anything around here is big brands. There's McDonald's, there's Wendy's, there's things like that, but nowhere where you can get a home cooked meal from.
So how, obviously you said you've got a line out the door, which is amazing. So you've just opened up, you've got a line out the door, you're only doing carry out right now, but you've got this huge dining room. So when this opens up, you guys are going to be crazy.
We are going to be crazy. We also have a patio that we're setting up in the back of the restaurant. So once we open up this side, again, we'll do every other booth just to keep in line with the COVID restrictions. We'll also have outside patio space as well.
That's amazing. How big is the patio?
The patio is going to sit, I believe, 20.
Okay.
It's a nice size back there.
Is it almost ready?
It's just about ready.
I'm excited to see that. What about the Black Lives Movement? How has that impacted your business?
We were blessed that we were not one of the restaurants that were hit during the riots and everything. So outside of that, we just... it hasn't really affected us so much.
It hasn't even, there's not been a bump, maybe from people seeking out, perhaps going to Black-owned restaurants at all?
Well, we do get a lot. And actually, Jeremy from Black People Eats, he did a showcase and so we offered a $6.19 special for that day, for that actual weekend.
Yeah.
That boosted business completely. And we got a lot more customers that we normally that wouldn't have heard of us, but we were on that list of restaurants that were doing that offering, so.
Very nice. I mean, I saw that post, and so that was really cool to see, people pouring out their support, trying to do what they can to support, and that's amazing to see. I mean, do you get many people coming, from downtown? You said some people from out of town, but maybe they have family or friends in this neighborhood that they might have been going. But are you seeing people travel from very far to come here? We do. We have a lot of our customers that come from downtown and from up north. Awesome.
We have a friend of a family restaurant that we call her Soleil. So sometimes Soleil is super packed and they'll go, hey, well, we just came to you guys because we can't get into Soleil, so we get that business. And sometimes here, if we close early and they're still open, hey, Soleil's still open. Go north. Go seek them out.
How far north is that one, Soleil?
It's like 1400 north. So
Chicago Avenue and Damon.
Yep.
Okay.
West 1931 West Chicago.
Yeah, it's out of Chicago.
Yep, 1931 West Chicago.
Yeah, that's
You
right
know
there.
about
In the mix. And so that's just like a friend that was
Yes,
that one?
yes.
Okay, well, we'll have to check that out. That's pretty close to where I live up there. I'll be completely honest. Like, I rarely come south of Cermak. And so when we had this opportunity, I was very excited. And I think there's a stigma. Mm-hmm. There's a lot on the news of things that might happen on the south side and whatnot. What would you tell people that might be afraid to come take a trek down here that they usually stick in the River North or West Loop or something like that?
We get that all the time. Most people can't even believe that we would open a restaurant. Like, you guys could open a restaurant anywhere in Chicago. Why here? This is our neighborhood, though. So we wanted to make sure that we brought something to our neighborhood. We most of the times during working hours, there is security. There's armed security here just for everyone's safety. We haven't had any problems. People get their food and they get good customer service while they're here, and they leave, and that's it.
Everyone's been super friendly. Yeah,
and they have.
You can tell they enjoy being here, which is cool to see.
Yeah.
What do you see in like this neighborhood? Do you feel that it's up and coming? Do you feel that you're maybe an anchor that it gives you some more room for other places to say, hey, they're doing it, we're going to set up shop and maybe add some more non-fast fast food.
Hopefully that's what happened. What we did see with this neighborhood was all the looting when everything happened with the protests. And so our big anchor stores like Walmart are trying to debate whether they're going to open again. And you think about Walgreens, and they're trying to debate, are they going to open again? So when you have us, we're talking to other people who may want to open, like whatever it may be. Like if we continue to build our neighborhood, it'll thrive.
Right. The more investment, every success breeds new success. So,
right.
Keep up the good work on that. How would you describe soul food?
Soul food. To me, soul food will be any home cooked meal that heart is in it. It comes from the soul. When you have recipes that are seasoned well, that is cooked from the heart, and not just something that's thrown together, you don't know what the ingredients are. None of that here. We don't put any pork in any of our food. Everything is, again, recipes that was thrown down through generation to generation.
Well, we're very excited to try that. If someone comes down here, what are 3 items or 1, 2, 3 items that you say you have to get it?
Pot roast.
Pot roast.
Pot roast is our number one staple. That's our best seller. It's what people come far and wide to get, is our pot roast. Outside of that, it'll be probably our beef short ribs. And that's the offering that we do every Sunday as part of our Soul Food Sunday. And then the next thing is probably our shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits.
I think we got some of those coming out too.
I got shrimp and grits for you guys.
So give one last shout out, Food on the Run, what people to expect, where you're located and how they can get a hold of you, and important how they can order, because there's a long line and there's not a lot of ways.
It is. So we are located, Chicago Food on the Run is located at 8040 South Ashland Avenue here in Chicago, 60620. Our phone number here is 773-420-3523. We do have a website, www.chicagofoodontheRun.com. You can look on there if you want to check out our prices, our menu, as well as our catering. At this time, we are only offering orders in-house. You would need to come in and place an order. We're not taking phone orders, and we also don't do any delivery at this moment.
Yeah.
Early July, end of July, early August, we're going to open up our dining side as well as our outside patio.
Great. And then are you expecting to do any online order or delivery at that point, or you're going to kind of take one step at a time?
One step at a time.
We'll
Once
see.
we get this side open and we get a rhythm with this for about a month, then we'll work into online ordering.
Awesome. Well, Kristal, thank you for having us.
Thank you guys for coming out.
I'd love for you to kind of talk us about some of the food that we have coming.
I'm going to actually get up and get you guys.
We are happy to say that Chicago Food on the Run is still going strong. They're now also open for dining in on select nights and private events. So, if you're excited to try their lamb chops, shrimp and grits, pot roast, or any of their amazing food, head over to their website to see what day they're available and to make reservations. ChicagoFoodOnTheRun.com. Good luck to Kristal, Jonetta, and the rest of the team at Food on the Run. This episode of What's on Tap was hosted by Joe Sheehan with special guests Jeremy Joyce of Black People Eats and Kristal Long from Chicago Food on the Run. See our episode notes for links to their websites and social media accounts. This show was produced by Joe Sheehan with voiceover and marketing by Caitlin Cavanaugh. Our AV technician was Nadine Lomaton, with assistance by our creative media intern, Claire Platt. Until next time, cheers.